Imagine waking up tomorrow to find $10 million deposited into your bank account. In fact, every single person on Earth gets it too. Poverty is cured overnight, right? Everyone buys their dream car, quits their job, and lives in luxury. Or so you think. Within 48 hours, this economic miracle turns into the ultimate nightmare. Society completely collapses. You run to the store to buy food with your millions, but the doors are locked. Why? Because the grocery clerk is now a millionaire too. In this video, we are breaking down the terrifying economic paradox of universal wealth and what money actually measures. By the end of this breakdown, you will realize why printing cash creates zero wealth and why abundance isn't what you think. Day one of universal riches, nobody shows up to work. Why handle trash, repair power lines, or farm crops when you have millions? Day two, the global supply chain freezes instantly. Raw goods stop moving, factories close, and power grids begin to flicker. Day three, competition begins. If everyone has $10 million, but there are only 10 loaves of bread left, what happens? The price of bread rockets to $1 million. Your $10 million suddenly can't even buy a week's worth of basic food. This exposes the fundamental flaw in human perception. Cash is not wealth. Cash is merely a claim check on available goods and services. Real wealth is output. It's food produced, medicine manufactured, homes built, and power generated. Without labor, money is useless paper. We don't have to guess if this happens. In Zimbabwe, the government printed massive bills. Everyone was a trillionaire, yet everyone was starving. Money only retains purchasing power when it remains scarce relative to the actual goods and services produced by society. This experiment gives us direct insight into modern debates around universal basic income and wealth redistribution strategies. If you fund basic income purely by printing money without increasing physical output, you create guaranteed inflation every single time. For basic income to work without destroying currency, it must redistribute existing value, not print fake new value. So if making everyone rich in paper currency fails, how do we actually create a world where everyone lives in abundance?
The answer lies in productivity. True wealth grows when we decrease the cost of producing things people need.
Look at technology. Computers today are millions of times more powerful than decades ago, yet cost a fraction of the price. When technology automates production, goods become so cheap and abundant that everyone becomes richer without printing a single dollar. As artificial intelligence and robotics scale, the marginal cost of creating food, housing, and energy moves towards zero. This is called a post-scarcity economy. You don't make people rich by giving them cash, you make them rich by making goods cost nothing. However, reaching that future creates a massive transition crisis. What happens to jobs when machines produce everything? Human value shifts from physical task execution to creative direction, oversight, innovation, and emotional connection. Another reason universal riches fail culturally is human psychology. Wealth is largely relative, not just absolute. If everyone owns a supercar no longer signals success. Humans naturally seek status signals through scarce assets. Even in a world of infinite printed money, items with fixed physical supply, like prime land, simply skyrocket in price. This is why giving everyone money just shifts the goalposts. The scarce items simply absorb all the excess cash. In our hypothetical scenario, the real winners aren't the people with cash. They are the people who already owned hard assets. We saw a mini version of this during global stimulus programs. Pumping liquidity into society inflated asset prices dramatically. Currency expansion is a stealth tax on non-asset owners. It feels like you have more money, but your money buys less. Money is ultimately an accounting ledger of trust, social debt, and human cooperation. Destroy the balance, and trust vanishes. Think of money like a measurement of energy. You cannot create energy out of nothing without breaking the laws of physics. Fiat currency creates the illusion that energy can be printed. But real-world physics always wins in the end.
If money becomes infinite, the only true currency becomes high-value specialized human skills and technological ownership.
Most people never learn the difference between currency and wealth, leaving them vulnerable to financial propaganda. The point of wealth isn't hoarding paper notes. It's securing your time, freedom of choice, and personal sovereignty. This is called a post-scarcity economy. You don't make people rich by giving them cash, you make them rich by making goods cost nothing. As governments move toward digital currencies, managing inflation and monitoring liquidity will become even more centralized. Some economists argue future currencies should be tied directly to energy output, like kilowatt hours, to prevent artificial printing.
Hard currencies like Bitcoin attempt to enforce digital scarcity, preventing anyone from artificially diluting the global ledger.
A high bank balance means nothing if the society around you lacks infrastructure, productivity, and social trust. True social enrichment comes from medical breakthroughs, clean energy, efficient food systems, and advanced technology. The path to real universal wealth isn't printing cash. It's automating basic needs while educating citizens on capital flow. Protecting yourself today requires positioning your capital inside assets that benefit from automation and currency expansion. Business equity gives you a direct claim on human productivity. When prices rise, resilient businesses adjust their revenues upward. Real estate provides both physical utility and supply limits. You can print dollars, but you cannot print prime locations. If you spend extra currency on depreciating luxuries instead of productive assets, you fall victim to the wealth illusion. Measure your success by capital efficiency, how effectively your existing assets generate new value without your manual labor.
Consumers view money as a ticket to buy things. Producers view money as seed capital to build systems.
You escape the rat race the moment your asset income exceeds your baseline cost of living, regardless of national policy. In a hyper-connected world, capital and talent migrate to wherever they are treated best and allowed to build freely. Whenever a government promises free money without increased production, recognize the hidden cost: your future purchasing power. Supply and demand are immutable laws of nature. Distort them with cash injections, and markets compensate through price shocks.
Real breakthroughs that raise human living standards come from innovation, risk-taking, and efficient resource allocation.
Shift your focus from collecting paper tokens to building output capacity. Become indispensable in an automated economy. Stack rare, high-value skills that machines cannot easily replicate. High leverage creates high personal pricing power. Calculated risk-taking in productive assets is far safer than the guaranteed loss of holding depreciating paper cash. The future belongs to small, highly efficient operators who utilize digital leverage to generate massive value. When you strip away the illusion, money is just communication. It tells society who contributed value and who consumed it. If everybody got rich in paper money overnight, nobody would be rich. True wealth must be built, not printed. You don't need the world economy to fix itself for you to win. You simply need to execute the correct personal strategy. Remember, cash is liquidity, assets are protection, productivity is wealth, and leverage is your ultimate multiplier. Stay adaptable, keep your capital active, and continuously reallocate resources into areas of maximum productivity. Take control of your economic destiny today. Stop waiting for external fixes and start building your asset base. We explored the hyperinflation paradox, the power of productivity, and why output always trumps printed currency. Understanding these foundational economics gives you an unfair advantage in navigating inflation and market cycles. How are you positioning your personal balance sheet for the changing economy? Drop your strategy in the comments below. If you want to master the game of money and stay ahead of global economic shifts, hit subscribe and join us. Understand value, own real assets, master the future. See you in the next video.